Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And today we're talking about why has the outdoor tourism in Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas in general just exploded in the last couple of years. So we're going to talk about that. But before we begin, if you could like this video and also subscribe, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas, of course. Also, if you are thinking about moving down here or checking out the whole area, there's a 3-day itinerary linked down below for you. So maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you have kids, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you're a foodie. There's a 3-day itinerary linked down below for you. So go ahead and download it and use it when you get down here. All right, so the last couple, probably decade or so, mostly the last 5 years, Arkansas tourism, when it comes to people coming out of the state, into the state, just to hang out here, be here, for the outdoor section, has increased dramatically in the last couple of years. Now, obviously, there's other places than Northwest Arkansas in Arkansas, but Northwest Arkansas by far drives the most, we'll say, people coming here for that reason. But obviously, there's hot springs, there's Mountain Home, there's other areas in actually Arkansas that draw a lot of attention, but Northwest Arkansas draws the most attention by far. And so one of the things that Arkansas noticed as a state was that there's only a couple other states in America that have a position in the actual government dedicated to someone who is actually focusing on outdoor tourism. And Arkansas just hired their first person last year, along with Colorado, a couple other states that are heavy into tourism. They hired the first outdoor tourism, basic person to make sure it continues to happen and drive in more revenue for the state. So that person is hired in Arkansas and driving more revenue for the state in general. And that's kind of a unique thing because a lot of states, it's hard to encourage states to do that because sometimes they don't see the actual advantage to it. They don't see it as a business opportunity, obviously, in a lot of ways. And so Arkansas, obviously the governor at the time, was very thoughtful and thinking ahead and knowing that so much money and opportunity comes from having someone in that position to bring more talent here, bring more people in here for tourism. And that position was filled and they are just going hog wild. Hog wild in Arkansas, trying to bring more people here to kind of showcase all the amazing things that Northwest Arkansas and specifically Arkansas has to offer when it comes to outdoor tourism in general. And so let's focus more on Northwest Arkansas in the general area. And Northwest Arkansas is going to be kind of a broader scope here, kind of like the northern half of the state. So one of the things that's interesting about Northwest Arkansas in general is that we have right adjacent to us, kind of maybe like an hour and a half away from here, something called the Buffalo National River. The Buffalo National River was the first national river in all of America. So it was really cool. I was able to go to kind of a actual movie premiere event in Fayetteville, and they did a whole thing in all across Northwest Arkansas. Basically a movie premiere event about people who went out and kind of interview people around the Buffalo and about the Buffalo and why it's such an amazing feature around here. And obviously people go out to the Buffalo a lot of times because of the kayaking, the swimming, the hiking, the biking, the whole thing. So the Buffalo is a great place to hang out. The glamping, the camping, is a great place. So I was able to go see a feature film based around that and just interviewing a lot of people, that conservationists that really pushed again to stop some of the damming that was going to happen in the Buffalo. So they wanted to make sure that the Buffalo stayed a national no dam river. So this way it's just a free flowing river and people can use it for the future. And so it's really cool to have the Buffalo River right next to Northwest Arkansas. And it's such an easy drive to get from here to there. People go out there almost every single weekend just to hang out and enjoy the Buffalo. Whoa. Before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're looking at Realtor.com or Zillow.com and the notifications are way too slow. So that's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is. Instant Home Updates. Wild, I know. So enter your information below, whether you're looking for the square footage, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, whatever you're looking for. Enter your information below and I'll make sure that you don't miss a single rental or home for sale in Northwest Arkansas ever. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just kind of talking about all things Northwest Arkansas. So if you want to keep up to date with new businesses, new restaurants, new comedians coming through town, new musicians, new things Northwest Arkansas, enter your information below, just your email, and I'll make sure you get that next email that comes out every single Friday. Also, little side warning, you might get a little fear of missing out because you're going to see all the cool things that are happening here. So just a little heads up there. But I'll make sure that you're the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. And so that kind of an interesting kind of tail in with Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas in general is that, it's not, Arkansas specifically is not a one-trick pony with just biking. Obviously, biking is a major thing here. We if you see my channel, you know that 450 miles of biking trails in Northwest Arkansas specifically, plus all the other mountains and biking trails along Arkansas in general. But Northwest Arkansas specifically has a lot more than just biking. It has rock climbing, it has actual kayaking, it has fishing, it has swimming, it has glamping, it has camping. And so honestly, the next big push from Northwest Arkansas specifically is rock climbing. There's been big pushes and initiatives to like, what's the next thing? You know, biking will always be the thing. There will always be the main kind of like diamond, we'll call it that, since it's a diamond state. But it's the kind of the diamond of Northwest Arkansas is the biking scene. But there are obviously a lot of other people have moved here and like, hey, let's try out camping. Let's try out like obviously rock climbing. And so the Buffalo obviously has a lot of rock climbing adventures out there. We have a lot of indoor places as well. But there's specific places that are being bought out at the moment that are going to introduce rock climbing into Northwest Arkansas specifically, even more heavier. So just know the fact that if you aren't always into biking specifically, or maybe into hiking or on the trails, just know that there's other activities out here for you. And obviously with the new director of outdoor tourism, that is going to be a big push to make sure that outdoor tourism keeps heavily focused in Northwest Arkansas and growing exponentially. And last but certainly not least is that Northwest Arkansas has grown exponentially when it comes to outdoor tourism. And not only is it all the outdoor things you can do, but it's also the outdoor places you can go. Whether it's Devil's Den, whether it's obviously the trail systems in Bentonville, whether it's actual Lake Weddington, whether it's, you know, obviously the kayak park out in Salem Springs. But honestly, on top of that, there are so many, like there's the actual Ozark mountain range. And inside the Ozark mountain range, there's so many different trails and things to do out there. Rivers flowing through there. So it's so interesting to live next to a mountain range. And I say mountains, these aren't 14,000 foot mountains, but they go 2,000 feet up, 2,000 feet down. And it's really cool to kind of like weave through there and see all the different cool things you can do out there. Obviously there's a bunch of parks out there. And obviously there's also just south of Northwest Arkansas is the Ouachita Mountains. Now that's probably the closest thing to mountains in Arkansas in general, because like there's times where you'll go through the Ouachitas and you'll like drive through the mountains and like they're hovering over you. Very similar to like Taos, New Mexico, or very similar to like obviously Colorado in that regard. So just know that the Ouachitas are probably some of the more steepest ones. And those are the ones that are going to make you feel like you're kind of enclosed in like the pine needle kind of aspect there. So a lot of people end up down in the Ouachita Mountains. They spend a lot of time down there, closer to Little Rock area. And there's a lot of lakes and boating and fishing. And so it's kind of like this little nestled area you can find down in the Ouachitas that you can have your own little like cabin, so to speak, and kind of get away. So that just kind of encourages everyone to continue to come down to Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas in general when it comes to the outdoor tourism scene, because there really is a lot of things for a lot of people, and not just like, you know, one set of things for one people in certain parts of other parts of the country. And also another side note, this is just an asterisk side note, our span for actual like tourism is usually longer than most places because we can enjoy the winters and the summers as well. Whereas a lot of times other places close down and you can't do as much out there because it can kind of get a little snowy and kind of get a little cold, but not here. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about moving down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you have kids, maybe you're a sightseer. There's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it and use it when you get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you a $10 tour so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, we'll see you next one.